Rika will be against Zoro.
Mm-hmm.
I I don't even know how that'll even play into things because Zoro may not be able to see her, but she's still physically
Mm.
there.
All right, what's up, y'all? So we heard on Twitter, or seen on Twitter, however you want to break it down, about people talking about Yuta versus Zoro, and we're gonna get straight to it.
I feel like Zoro probably going to beat him regardless, just because of the speed feats in One Piece in general. Granted, Yuta has a couple speed feats as well, but I feel like Zoro is just, I feel like Zoro is way faster than him. Just for the simple fact of how they scale One Piece and power and stuff. We've seen Zoro do a lot of stuff in One Piece pretty much by accident. Like when he cut half of that mountain in half by accident. He didn't mean to do that. He just did it. So I feel like Zoro could get lost running the Yuta and still beat him. I feel like so.
I think Zoro and the East Blue is beating Yuta. I ain't gonna hold you like.
Oh, that's wild. Not the one that lost to Mihawk with the,
You know
with the
what?
butter.
No,
knife.
that's not a bad point though. That's not a bad point because if you think about it, how Zoro was training on the boat, my boy was lifting up like 500 kilograms. Yuta's not doing that.
This is not a.
Mm-hmm.
This is
That was
not
early
a. This is not going to be an actual fight. Zoro is faster, stronger than Yuta. He probably might get caught off guard by some of Yuta's tricks. He probably would call Rika ugly.
Well, maybe it's just because you're ugly.
Ugly.
And they might, on paper try to blitz him. But if it's a sword fight, East Blue Zoro is punishing Yuta because Zoro cuts down mountains.
Yeah, but
Yuta
that
hasn't shown anything.
in the beginning.
I mean,
Yeah,
the
not
East Blue
East
was a
Blue, but
joke,
he was just
even though I
saying, yeah.
still think East Blue Zoro was punishing that man. But in general,
Zoro was still.
that man
I
Zoro
mean,
could
Zoro
cut
was
a
still
mountain.
trying. He was still trying to learn how to cut through metal at the beginning, though. Like don't get me wrong. I'm still gonna give it to Zoro, but I think Yuta still giving some go, though. I mean, while Zoro has like the bigger destructive capabilities, Yuta still has his hacks. It just matters. It's a matter of how he uses. Like like how in the recent chapter Yuta just used the thin icebreaker. It was basically baby Whitebeard, and I don't know how well Zoro can tank something like that, especially since it breaks the atmosphere, kind of like shattering reality in a way. It's like I don't know how well Zoro can really tank something like that.
See, my only point when it comes to that is the matter of, even though, yes, Yuta is using these abilities, it's a matter of how fast he is to do the attack versus Zoro's response to react to him. Because it could be like if Zoro's already much faster, he sees Yuta's about to go in with that attack. If he can slash him before he even gets the attack off, it's done. And like I said, we've seen Zoro's ability to slice mountains. I don't think Yuta's sword that could easily break is gonna tank a slice from Zoro's sword, especially if he uses Enma to do like a slash. Yuta wouldn't expect it either. That my boy would slice him in half just from one slice.
To be honest, I think they only match these two up on Twitter because they're two swordsmen. Like Takaba versus Luffy probably makes a lot more sense in general than Yuta versus Zoro, because it's really Yuta really has no chance in my opinion.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. I do think it's like big brother versus little brother. Like, yeah, you can attack, but I'm bigger, faster, stronger. I won't say smarter, but bigger, faster, stronger. Yuta will probably run.
Yuta got cursed speech and stuff too, so you never know. He might be able to do something to him with cursed speech. We've seen him use it multiple times.
But also, I mean, the stronger the target, the harder it'll be for him to use
Harder
it.
it is. Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, that's
That is
what.
Kind of like Conqueror's Hockey. You just Luffy won't be able just to walk up to just anybody and use Conqueror's Hockey. Like you saw him with the scrub. Those 10,000 men. He was just like, he just glared at him, and everyone just said, "I'm tired, man. Damn."
Yeah,
he can't do that he can't walk up to Kaido with Conqueror's Hockey and think he's gonna fall.
Yeah.
That's true.
yeah.
We've seen a lot of techniques that Yuta's copied though, like that one when he's able to grab the sky and the thin icebreaker and all that. He got some tricks, but I feel like again, the speed in One Piece is scaled so high.
Yep.
I don't think that Yuta will be able to. I don't think there's anybody in Jujutsu Kaisen that could keep up outside of maybe Kashimo. And even then, hasn't fought anybody with that amount of speed like Kashimo. So we don't know how fast he technically is. You would have to scale him really high to do that, I feel like.
How about we put in a handicap and Zoro already has Yuta already has Zoro in the domain expansion on the little cross. Do you think Zoro could still win even with Yuta's one
Domain
attack
expansion.
actually hitting with a guaranteed hit? I think that'll be a better comparison in this fight. Which y'all in thought? I like that. I like that.
mean,
I think Zoro will take all the swords for himself for sure. But
Yeah,
I think
I
he's
still like, I still like Zoro in the fight, but I still think Yuta will give him some go. But with the with the surefire hit plus everything is buffed in your domain, he'll probably give Zoro a couple scratches, a couple scars, maybe. He might nick him up a bit, but we still don't know what else is in his domain, and I don't know how effective Rika will be against Zoro. I don't even know how that'll even play into things, because Zoro may not be able to see her, but she's still physically there.
I forgot about
the whole.
that. He won't be the
That's a whole nother issue.
Yeah,
It's weird.
that is
But I'd
true.
still probably
Amari,
give it
you
to
still
Zoro.
in deep thought? What you still in deep thought, Amari? What you thinking?
No, that was a good point. Like the whole with Rika being there but not really being there, I'm kind of thinking to myself, like, would Zoro have the ability to still kind of sense it? Because most with like the samurai, like they always have like this type of thing, like their aura, they feel off the aura that's kind of around them. So I feel like even though Zoro might get hit with it at first as a surprise attack, and then he'll be like, oh, okay, so you got like an invisible force that can hit me or something like that. I feel like eventually Zoro would be responsive to that. But when it comes to the domain expansion, I do agree that Zoro at that point probably would be taking more battle damage, just because each sword probably has a different ability. We don't know like how fast Yuta's able to use it like consecutively. I do like your point though, Mike. It would be very funny if Zoro's just like, oh, you got all these swords I can use. Now I can start doing 1,000 blade technique and start swishing around and stuff. That'd be
he gonna
dangerous.
have swords in between his toes.
Yeah, he'd be the next Killer Bee.
I think, I don't know, with a fight like this, like especially what we've seen Zoro go through a lot of damage. Like you would have to argue, to convince me Zoro loses this fight, you would have to argue that Yuta can do more damage than what Kuma did
I
to
was about to say that.
Zoro.
On Thriller Bark.
Yeah.
Kuma took a whole arc worth of damage and
dropped
said,
it on
"Here's Zoro," and that didn't kill him.
You're right.
That's what I'm saying.
So
That durability feat is there too.
That's what I'm saying. We're talking about durability. I don't think Yuta can do as much as an arc alone. That was all the damage from the entire arc, and he took it at one time. It wasn't like it was like a constant thing. It was all at one time. So I don't see,
because at this
Yuta
point,
being
what
able to
Zoro's
do that.
tanking continental attacks because he's able to dish out the same type of destructive ability. I don't see Yuta even being able to cut multiple story buildings in one slice. So,
let alone a mountain.
Yeah, and don't get me started on the seppuku knife. He got the knife the size of a damn car key, and he split a building in half. So it's like,
It's tough.
Yuta's strongest move. His strongest move probably blew up I think it was probably a city block. I think when he used it against Ghetto in the movie, he may have took down a city block. It could have just been the alleyway for all I know. So you got to give Zoro a lot of you got to give him the edge in a lot of the points here. Like I don't think there's too much Yuta can really do. I still think he could probably like give him a nick or two, but he still loses.
attack,
Pretty badly.
speed, durability. I think Zoro got it all.
Yeah. We're saying the same thing over and over again. It sounds like Zoro, no diff, I think is the correct term for this one.
Sweet.
But you guys can let us know down below. Who do you think wins this fight? Zoro or Yuta? Catch you in the next one. Peace.